Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to this week's Short STEM Challenge with the Itsy Bitsy insect.
Itsy insect. All right, let's do it.
Wow, look at these insects.
They're beautiful. Man. That's a big word, an entomologist. I think that we need to learn what an entomologist is. I think it has something to do with the itsy bitsy insect.
An entomologist is a scientist who studies insects and their lives. Some entomologists may look at how insects behave. Some study where insects live. Some look at insect pests and the diseases they carry, and others try to describe new insect species that are discovered. There are even entomologists that help solve crimes by studying dead bodies and the insects that live on them. Entomology is the study of insects and their relationship to humans, the environment, and other living things. Entomology is a very old science, dating back to the beginning of biology in ancient Greece. Humans have had an interest in the insect world for centuries, thanks to pests and the need to produce food. Many people have jobs as entomologists, but even more people study insects as a hobby in their spare time. Whatever insects an entomologist works with, they are helping us to understand the little things that run the world.
Wow, I learned a lot about what an entomologist does. They study insects. So a scientist who studies insects is called an entomologist. They study different groups, behaviors, life cycles, and populations of insects. Populations is just a really big word for how many.
I love that I see the sound in there, Mrs. Trebwasser.
Oh, I see it too. All those purple words, right?
Yes.
Insects are very helpful and harmful to the environment. I know that insects also are good for the environment because they help pollinate flowers so they can grow and we can have more beautiful flowers.
Cool. For your STEM challenge, you must use some literature connections for your inspirations. A great tool available to you is Mayan.
I love Mayan.
There are numerous or many books available about insects on Mayan. Check a few of these out.
Look at all those books on insects. I could pick any of those books and learn some new things.
I think I want to go read the Ladybug book next.
Ladybugs are super cool. They're one of my favorites, but I'm definitely going to go for B is for B.
Oh.
Sometimes we can't find the books that we might need on Mayan, so we sometimes need to go to the library. And these students went to the library and found a great book called Bugs Are Insects. And I think they're going to share just a part of that with us.
We are going to be sharing some fun and interesting facts from the book Bugs Are Insects by Anne Rockwell.
I love that they told us the author so we can find it.
There are many kinds of living insects all around us. Ants are insects, so are crickets, and mosquitoes. So are butterflies and bees.
I love how they're showing us the illustrations too.
Insects come in many shapes and sizes and colors. They don't all look alike, but there is always a way to tell if something is an insect. Count its legs, count how many parts make up its body.
There's different types of insects too.
many.
Is a ladybug an insect? All insects have external skeletons. You have a head skeleton inside with parts that move. Your skeleton holds you up and gives your body its shape. But an insect has a hard skeleton. The outside with parts that move. The skeleton is like a shell around the body. It holds the insect up and gives it its body shape. A ladybug is an external skeleton. Does that mean it is an insect?
I wonder.
Maybe not. All insects have external skeletons, but not all animals have external skeletons. Are insects. Crabs, lobsters, shrimps, and scorpions have external skeletons too, but they are not insects.
They don't look like any of those other pictures.
They don't.
Many insects has two parts of wings. The part of the antenna, sometimes the antennae are long like those of butterflies. Sometimes they are short like those of beetles.
You could have long antennas or short ones.
But all insects' bodies are divided into three parts: head, thorax, and abdomen. There are 6 legs attached to the thorax. Anything that has 6 legs and 3 body parts is an insect. A ladybug has 6 legs and 3 body parts. Is it an insect?
What do you think, Miss Walker? Do you think a ladybug is an insect?
I think it has all the criteria to be an insect, but I want to find out some more information just to be sure. I love how these girls persevered through their reading. Did you hear them go back and repeat if they made an error? That's what great readers do.
I did, and I loved how they helped each other.
Yeah.
Some of those bigger words, because some of them were like external.
Yeah, an exoskeleton? That's a big word.
That is a big word.
There are numerous ways, or many ways, for you all to find information about the Itsy Bitsy insect. On top of using books, you could go onto the internet. However, do not do any internet searches without mom and dad's approval. There's a great website you can go to called National Geographic Kids. Together, we've pulled out some videos for you all to watch.
I love Nat Geo.
It's a great big world with so much to learn with National Geographic Kids.
Hey everybody, it's Julian here, and this week on Nat Geo Kids, we're going to be looking at some amazing videos about your favorite animals and mine. Insects. Come on, bees, flies, termites, bedbugs, cockroaches. They're your favorite, right? Well, those aren't the only ones. Moths, ladybugs, and butterflies are all insects too. In fact, there's somewhere around 1 million different species of insects on the planet, and that's just the ones we know for sure. Scientists think that there may be as many as 10 million different species, but they won't all be crawling around in the grass when you're trying to have a picnic. If you don't like insects, you might have a hard time finding some place to get away from them. Insects can be found in nearly every environment on Earth, including Antarctica, which means you might have to think about going to, the moon. Until that's possible, you're stuck with them. So let's take a look at our first video where we learn some basic facts about insects.
I might like to travel to the moon one day.
That would be cool, but Antarctica, no thank you. So cold. And how do those insects live in that environment?
I don't know. I do not know. Let's take a look at his other video.
So that was pretty interesting. It's pretty cool how insects have 3 segmented body parts: a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. Most have 6 legs and antennae, and some even have wings. You know what doesn't have those things? Spiders. That's because spiders are actually arachnids. They have 8 legs and 2 body parts, and they don't have wings. A lot of people who don't like insects like to lump the two together. What a case of mistaken identity. All right, so let's check out this next really amazing video about fireflies.
So, spiders are not insects?
No, they only have 2 body parts, Ms. Walker.
Oh, and insects need to have 3.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And spiders have 8 legs.
So what is an insect? They're a small group, often winged animals. And insects have 6 jointed legs. 3, you're right, Ms. Trebwalzer, 3 main body parts: a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. And they also have 2 antennae. I think those can be short or longer, right?
That's what I remember from the pictures.
Oh, insects also have an exoskeleton. Exo, that's that prefix in the beginning of a word, and that must mean that the skeleton is on the outside of their body.
We don't have an exoskeleton. Our skeleton is on the inside, so that means it's internal.
Yep. Wow.
Oh, we have a request for a proposal. So the science department wants to create an Itsy Bitsy insect field guide for students to learn more about insects. A field guide is a book with information and pictures about a certain topic to learn more about the world around them. This seems so important.
So fun. Oh, they need our help in creating the Itsy Bitsy insect field guide. We must select an insect of our choice. Gather as much information about our insect as possible.
Listen to all those short I sounds. Wow.
Oh, we get to make a model of the insect. Ooh.
And remember, a model is a representation of an object or an idea. Models can be drawing, diagrams, they could be 3D models, they can even be mathematical representations, like when I use my manipulatives in math, or a computer representation.
So many different ways.
Yes, there's not just one way to make a model. Models are made from observations and patterns in the world. So be sure to use your research to create your model. And you can even use all the beautiful pictures that we have in our presentation for you to get some ideas.
Great idea, Mrs. Trebwalzer. But most importantly, there's that I word, models should be accurate, not an art project from your imagination. What does accurate mean?
Well, I think looking at the context clues that accurate, it needs to be based on my observations, what it really looks like, because I don't want to use my imagination and maybe make a blue and green bumblebee, because bumblebees aren't really blue and green. I want to use some references from the text that I read and some of the pictures to create a true model for my insect, Itsy Bitsy insect.
Yes. Oh, okay. Let's look at our guidelines. So we know scientists use those models to document their learning. Okay.
And you can carefully observe an insect in nature or read a Mayan book about an interesting insect. But if you observe one in nature, friends, make sure you don't mess with it. We want to observe with our eyes and not our hands.
We need to gather as much information as possible about the chosen insect.
Ooh. And then we get to create a model of our insect that we learn about.
Our insect model must be as accurate as possible. That's probably why we have to use our observations with our eyes and have as much information as possible to make sure that we are accurate with our model.
Yes. And you may make the model larger than its actual size so that we can see the details better. It would be so hard to make a teeny tiny model of that insect. Some of them are so small, and we want to use them to learn from and add them to our field guide. So I definitely think that we should make our model a little bit larger than its actual size, but everything else should be as detailed as we can make it.
So that means that our model must have our key parts labeled.
Yeah, scientists are very, very, very thorough. So labeling would be a good idea. That's a beautiful moth.
Mrs. Travis, can we use these pictures to observe different insects too?
I think we can, because we can observe those antennae and the wings and the body parts. We might even be able to see some of the legs if we look really closely. We should see how many legs again?
6.
6 legs. That's right.
6 legs. Wow. So in order to build your model of your itsy bitsy insect, you're going to have to go searching around the house for some objects you might already have.
So you could use some toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls, corks, cardboard, empty egg cartons, popsicle sticks, tape or glue,
Scissors, string, yarn, newspaper, plastic, grocery bags, paint, or even construction paper. That's plenty of things.
I have those things just laying around.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that beautiful butterfly in those patterns. That's amazing.
The color looks awesome. Ooh.
So we have a quick, actually it's a little bit longer, of a very, very cool video that talks about 10 interesting insects. I learned so much when I watched this. I think we should share it with our friends here.
I think that's a great idea, Mrs. Trebwasser. I think they're really going to like it.
Ever notice those really tiny animals crawling and flying and buzzing around? They're called insects or bugs. Insects are small animals with 6 legs, 3 body parts, and a hard outer shell called an exoskeleton. They often have antennae and wings. Let's take a look at 10 bugs that might be living in your backyard. 1. Butterfly. Butterflies are one of the most beautiful insects we find in our garden. Butterflies have 4 brightly colored wings made up of tiny scales. Butterflies use their gorgeous wings to fly from flower to flower, but they don't fly in a straight line. We call this fluttering. In fact, we call a group of butterflies a flutter. Butterflies like to eat the nectar from flowers and have taste receptors on their feet. 2. Moth. Moths may look similar to butterflies, but they are different. They tend to have dull colors and are usually smaller than butterflies. But here's a giant moth. Yikes! Moths are usually active during the night, while butterflies are active during the day. Moths' bodies are thicker than butterflies, and when resting, they spread their wings at their sides. Butterflies rest their wings together and upright. Still can't tell the difference? Look at their antennae. Moth antennae are usually feathery, while butterfly antennae are straight with a bump at the end. 3. Caterpillar. Caterpillars aren't one kind of insect. It's a life stage of certain insects like moths and butterflies. These bugs start as eggs, then hatch into a caterpillar, which crawls around eating a lot. Each time they get bigger, they molt and shed their skin. When they're nice and big, they wrap themselves up in a soft cocoon if they're a moth caterpillar, or a hard chrysalis if they're a butterfly caterpillar. After a couple of weeks, they then emerge as a beautiful moth or butterfly with wings. Most caterpillars are herbivores, meaning they only eat plants. Caterpillars eat differently than adult butterflies and moths. A caterpillar eats plants with its mouth. Butterflies and moths use their long straw-like tongues to drink nectar out of flowers. 4. Bees. Bees live in hives and make honey. A single hive can have up to 80,000 bees. All hives have a female leader known as the queen bee. The queen bee is recognized by her larger size. Worker bees collect nectar and pollen from flowers and bring it back to the hive as food for the queen bee, workers, and baby bees, also known as larvae. Bees make honey by chewing up nectar and spitting it out into the honeycomb. Then they dry it out by waving their wings. When a worker bee finds new plants to gather nectar from, it alerts other bees by doing a waggle dance. 5. Ladybug. Ladybugs are a type of beetle. Ladybugs are not just female bugs. They can be male too. Some ladybugs have black spots on their backs, while others don't. Ladybugs got the name ladybug because in Europe during the Middle Ages, farmers realized that ladybugs saved their crops by eating aphids and mites, small bugs known to eat the farmers' plants. Farmers were so thankful for the ladybugs, they began to call them the beetles of Our Lady. And after that, it was shortened to ladybug. 6. Praying mantis. Another insect that is welcomed by farmers is the praying mantis. Praying mantises also eat bugs that are harmful to plants. They can also eat spiders, lizards, frogs, and small birds. Praying mantises can turn their head 180 degrees. That's half a circle. Humans can only turn their head 90 degrees. Praying mantises get their name because they are often seen holding their front legs together. Many people think it looks like they're praying. They are great at camouflage, adapting the colors that help them blend in with plants. 7. Ants. Like bees, ants live in colonies and serve a queen ant. Ants live in an anthill made by worker ants. This looks like a small hill above ground, but underground there are many complicated tunnels. The worker ants also gather food to bring back to the queen and the colony. They can also act as soldiers if their colony is being threatened. Average ant colonies have around 5,000 ants. There are super colonies, which can contain millions of ants. Ants can lift up to 20 times their body weight. That's like a human lifting a car. 8. Firefly. Fireflies are actually not a fly, but a beetle. Fireflies are often identified at night by their ability to glow. All fireflies glow. Even the eggs glow. Fireflies blink their glowing abdomens at each other to attract mates. They may also glow to alert potential predators that they taste bad. Fireflies glow by a chemical reaction produced inside them. Their light is very efficient. In fact, their natural glowing light is about 10 times more efficient than a common light bulb. 9. Cricket. Crickets can often be heard at nighttime. Only male crickets chirp in hopes of attracting a female mate. Crickets chirp by rubbing their wings together. The intensity of their chirps is determined by the temperature. The warmer it is, the louder they chirp. If it's too cold, the crickets won't chirp at all to conserve energy. Crickets are omnivores, which means they will eat almost anything. You might think crickets are the same as grasshoppers, but crickets have long antennae, while grasshoppers have short antennae. Also, grasshoppers sing by rubbing their legs together instead of their wings. Crickets are considered good luck in Japan and China. 10. Mosquito. Mosquitoes are related to flies. While it's annoying to have a fly in your house, a female mosquito in your house may try to suck your blood, leaving you with a very itchy bump. Only female mosquitoes crave blood. Male mosquitoes only siphon nectar juices from plants. While it's referred to as a mosquito bite, mosquitoes don't bite. Instead, their mouth is shaped like a long upside-down funnel with a narrow pointed end that pierces their victim so they can sip out their liquid. Yuck! Mosquitoes flap their wings 1,000 times per second, creating a very distinctive buzzing sound. Mosquitoes like to be near water, so to keep mosquitoes from coming around your house, put that kiddie pool away when you're done using it. Those are 10 insects that might be living in your backyard. Have you seen them crawling around your neighborhood? Do you like bugs? Do they give you the creeps? Let us know in the comment section below.
Wow, Miss Walker, I learned so much about insects. The
I did too.
insects. Oh, man.
I'm so excited to go back and do some more research on our Itsy Bitsy Insect, short I, STEM Challenge.
So we would love to see your models when you create them. So please, with your parents' permission, take a picture of your itsy bitsy insect and tweet it out at We Are Haste, at HCPS Elementary Science, and at Tampa Bay STEM. We look forward to seeing your models, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.